Hello, my fans from the past, from the future, from everywhere. So we continue with the marvelous world of superheroes. So instead of talking about the usual X-Men, Wolverine, Magneto, Xavier, etc., I'm going to talk about the X-Men. X-Men, which are men who became women. Men who decided by a call of nature or because they just identified themselves with their mothers too much, or they simply felt, I'm a woman in a man's body, which is absolutely fine. Just like every country has a right to self-determination, so does every human being have a right to say, you know what, I'm a fucking donkey, My penis is not that big, but I think I like carrots and to eat grass and to gallop like a lazy horse. So in theory, why would you oppose that, right? So we have the X-Men. There's an issue with all communities, gender rights, bigotry, etc. So the X-Men are here in this plane to educate, but first of all to protect. To protect whom, you might ask? The X-Men, I don't know what's happening to me right now, but the X-Men are here to protect women. Women who were born women with female organs. Yeah? Okay. So they can menstruate when they arrive at a certain age and hormones kick in. They can have polycystic ovary syndrome. They can have cancer in the uterus and lots of other problems that female women can have, and only them, right? So the X-Men, being formerly men but now deciding that they are truly women, they protect the still oppressed gender in a way, because women are still struggling with male power and a male dominated world. So it's an energy basically which happens to be the most present in men, masculine men of a male gender, right? But the X-Men know, because of their own transformation, that when that sort of transcendence into a new gender takes place, you drag with yourself, pun intended, the worst and the best of your former gender, i.e. the masculine. They became women, and then again soaking up the best and worst qualities of the female womanhood gender. The X-Men, enlightened beings, they go about educating and, whenever is necessary, and only then, punishing trans men. Trans men, I mean men who became women. That's very confusing still, but X-Men, they protect women, they protect their rights, and they make sure that the now transcendent male who became a female or a woman, they do not invade, oppress, and bully the feminine woman with female organs. Because it's happening. It's a reality. That's why X-Men are here, to just settle the scores, to tip the scales a little bit in the woman's favor. Because as it happens, many forums, let's say for instance, of women who suffer polycystic ovary syndrome are being invaded by trans men, right? Claiming that they have the right to be there and convey like, oh, I understand the psychological side and I feel it with you, but they are invading a space that's not theirs. So the X-Men, they hack into the system and they kick them out in a way that does not upset the ecosystem of those forums, because let's say when you are suffering from a malady that makes you not have that makes having kids very difficult, it's a painful process. The X-Men know this. They cannot bear kids inside, but they protect those who cannot, but they wish they could. Women, because of the polycystic ovary syndrome, right? And then they would teach, you know what, you're acting like a man. I mean, you might be a woman, trans friend, but you're acting like a man. You're imposing yourself. You're invading. You're oppressing. You are not invited here. You have nothing to say. So go within your own forums and leave the struggling women with their health issues alone, right? Because it would be like going to let's say a menstrual party where women share their menstrual cycle and they just bleed on the floors. What would a trans do there? Nothing. I mean, they could just throw ketchup or clean up if they want, but they have no saying in such gatherings, let's say. So X-Men there to educate, to help understand limitations, that despite one feeling that he's a woman, she's a woman, there are things that won't happen, and that's fine, because those who tell you that all your dreams can come true are after your money in a way and trying to manipulate you into understanding something that is not true. So we have limitations. Being alive in this world is to be conditioned in some way, and we have to accept the limitations, and the key is to know what to want in order to fulfill that which you can do. Otherwise you're a masochist. If I'm 4'3" and I want to play in the NBA, I'm preparing my own grave, right? Why? There's no point. So X-Men, they go about secretly gathering information and educating their fellow trans friends. There's a lot more to be said about this issue, but the X-Men are champions of women because they admire them. Because when you want to become like someone, there's a underlying admiration. So don't let that admiration become envy, because that's a common occurrence. Being envious of something that I can never be. And that's very masculine in a way. Competitiveness. It's like, okay, I'm going to cut your throat. I'm going to get your position, etc. No. Whenever you try to honor someone because you admire them, you will respect them and you will hear them first what they have to say, what they think of things. Like if I wanted to convert to Judaism or Catholicism, I would follow their lead and I would try to comply with their practices and ceremonies and ethics and morals, etc. I wouldn't go there invading and say, no, this is wrong, you should let me do this, that, I don't want to drink wine in the mass, I want to drink whiskey, fuck you all. No. You respect. When you enter a new realm, you respect those who have been living there before you, right? And that's what happens when you transcend or you change genders or whatever it is. X-Men, former men, now women, trying to educate the public, people, and protect women who are still being oppressed by the male, masculine energy which is abundant in men, usually. So stay tuned, because we will ruffle some feathers, we will rock the boat of the status quo and the political correctness, because I am RDS and I will blow your mind.